Welcome back to World Crisis Radio, our second hour. We're taping here on April 15th. The House is voting on the Ryan genocide budget that will destroy Medicare and Social Security and Medicaid and food stamps and destroy the U.S. middle class. Now, I forgot to mention in the first hour that D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray and a number of members of the D.C. City Council were actually arrested at the Senate protesting against Obama. So this is now something new. I mentioned in the first hour this example of Erskine Bowles trying to deal with Gingrich in 1998 to destroy Social Security and Medicare, and how that was stopped by Miss Lewinsky and her scandal. This made it politically impossible for the majority to come together that we just saw, right, with the Democrats crossing over and joining with the Republicans to vote for genocidal austerity. That was stopped by Lewinsky. Now, the reason that I've always been so interested in the question of Obama's birth certificate, this is the structural scandal that can stop Obama from selling out to these reactionary Republicans. And if the time to do this was any time, it is now. And we do have Trump moving forward. We had him on CNN with Candy Crowley or Creepy Crawley or whatever her name is. We had him on Hannity this past week. Trump is going great guns, and he is now the top candidate for president among independent voters, and he is tied for first among Republicans. And one of his main issues is the birth certificate. So whatever else we can say about this charming individual, we can certainly say that he's performing an important public service in terms of bringing this up. So let's go to Philadelphia and to the man in charge of this issue, who is our friend, the distinguished lawyer Phil Berg, who raised the issue at the Supreme Court August 21st, 2008. Welcome, Phil.
My pleasure to be on. This is a great time now because, as you stated, I've been going on this just practically 3 years, and with Donald Trump actually bringing this issue up to the front and to more people in this country, because Donald Trump does get coverage, and he's been very definite on this since he had an interview with ABC about 3 weeks ago, and since then he's been on The View, and he's been on CNN, and he's been all over the place. And this Saturday, I was just advised, because I was just invited to go down to Boca Raton, Florida. I understand that Donald Trump is going to be addressing his first time addressing a Tea Party group, and that's going to be this Saturday in Boca Raton, Florida. Unfortunately, I have a wedding the same day, so I can't go down there. But I have Tea Party people contacting me, and and this week's been great. I've been on radio in Pittsburgh, Boston, a lot of places now because the topic's up there again. And I'm glad that people come to me because I'm proud to say that I was the first one to file a lawsuit, and I really brought this matter to a head, and because I haven't stopped. And as you stated, it's a very important time for us, and this is a really important issue, and I think we're going to expose Obama because he is these are my words, he's a fraud, he's a phony, he's an imposter, and this is the biggest hoax against the United States of America in our history. Some of the remarks Donald Trump are making, he didn't say biggest hoax, but he says biggest something in our history. It sounds like he's
biggest con. He talks about con, a biggest con job in American history.
Right. Well, so I think, maybe I shouldn't pat myself on the back, but it sounds like he or his assistants are looking at my website because it sounds like some of the information he has conveyed, like he even conveyed the fact in one interview the other day about Maya, not his half-sister, Obama's half-sister, not knowing which hospital he was born in. And I actually put a press release out this week. If anyone's interested, they can see it on my website, which is obamacrimes.com. On CNN the other night, Maya Sotoro, Obama's half-sister, was being interviewed by Piers Morgan. And I think that Piers actually, I said he didn't live up to his standard as far as being a really intense questioner, because he blew it. He did not ask Maya the changes. And on my website, I put out a press release, and I have the exact quotes when she, in 2 different interviews, said that Obama was born in 2 different hospitals in Hawaii. And I think that's great evidence to support my position because I equate it to criminal law. In criminal law, when a client of mine tells me, I say, tell me the truth. And when they tell me the truth, the story stays the same. But when you lie, the story goes all over the place because you don't remember what you said the last time. But in two distinct interviews, and it's on my website, and I'm past, I think, Pierce Morgan, because I think he had a lot of people tuned in for this because, they stated, this was a very rare interview of Maya, and I think he purposely maybe didn't want to be involved in the birther issue, or he blew it, and she says, one, that he was born in the Women's Medical Hospital, and then the next interview she states he was born in Capitolina Hospital. Well, or maybe we do. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong, Webster. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have a unique person here who's in the White House who was actually born in two different hospitals. Maybe, maybe I'm not looking at this correctly. But I'm not. It's absurd what's going on. It's absurd that the national media has not even picked up at this point. They're touching it a little bit. But even on CNN with Candy Crawley last week, she kept trying to divert the topic to something else. And I give a lot of credit to Trump. Well, he's a professional. He's a businessman. He stood on the topic. He stood there getting his point across and then finally talked about something else. But I think it's fabulous that he's there. I have been sending some emails and to his lawyer. Again, I've had no communication back from them other than they're looking at my material. And I feel good that I'm able to supply some vital information to Trump because I think he can do it. Also, we have the issue of Darrell Issa, for your listeners out there. He's the head Republican because the Republicans took control in the House. He's head of the Government Oversight Committee, and he could hold a hearing. He could call a hearing and call Obama in and subpoena his records. Now, I know his lawyers would oppose it, but can you imagine the fanfare on that if they opposed it? But if Isaac could ever get a hearing here, and he has a powerful petition to do it, I believe Obama would be out of office that week. Again, his lawyers will fight the subpoena, fight everything else. I think in the long run, I think people are starting to realize now that when someone has spent $2 million, and Trump emphasized this,
right.
Because Trump first went into this. Trump went into this saying, I hope he was born. I really believe, I hope he was born in Hawaii to clear this whole issue. But then Trump went on to say the more he checks into it, the more it looks like he was not born in Hawaii. Well, if I had $1 million, Webster, I put it right now here on the table, and I would tell you, whoever wants to bet me, that for $1 million, Obama, or actually his legal name is Barry Soetoro, we can get that in a minute, I would bet $1 million that I'm absolutely correct, that he's a fraud, a phony, an imposter, the biggest hoax against the United States of America. And I'm hoping through Trump and whoever else out there, I'm available to speak anytime, any place. I was on Boston radio 2 mornings ago, and I was on there, I guess it was yesterday morning, sorry, and I was on for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and they had me speak for about 5 minutes, and after that I was taking call after call. I must have taken 30 calls, and one person was basically against me, so many people applauding me, a lot of people just questioning me, which I could respond to. I'll answer any question at any time. But now's the time to join with me because I've been putting off certain things, but now's the time. I'm going to file that new lawsuit shortly, another False Claims Act case, because I really believe Obama not only is not natural born, he's not naturalized. I believe he's an illegal alien, and therefore his term as a U.S. Senator from Illinois was fraud. And the salary and benefits he received $1 million should go back to the U.S. Treasury. Obviously, if he couldn't be a U.S. Senator, he can't be president. My website when the show is over is obamacrimes.com, OBAMACRIMES.com. We could use contributions. I mean, this has been costing me, I don't care what it's going to cost me and the time and effort, but I'm going to continue this until we expose Obama for the fraud he is. And with so many things going on right now with Libya, with our troops over there, with Afghanistan, with Iraq, with the budget situation, there's so many factors there that I believe everything Obama has done, everything he has done is voidable. So I'm with it, and I'm staying on top of it.
Okay, Phil, hang in there, and we'll see you next week.
You got it.
We'll be back in a
Thank you.
minute on World Crisis Radio.